does this work?
It's
Hey,
working.
what's going on, guys?
Hello.
Another episode here at Building Empires Network. We have myself, Andrea Cruz, and Christina Franco, and our special host, Wilmy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, go ahead.
He's our guest. He's our
Yes,
host.
sir.
He's everything, but he's great.
Yeah. So yeah, we brought Wilmy in today, and he's gonna talk to us a little bit about how his journey in real estate is going. You know, how he started and things like that. So, Wilmy, tell us what got you into real estate.
For sure. So thank you guys for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here.
Thanks for coming.
But so I started this journey back when I was like 18 years old. I was in Florida, and I saw some white dude on YouTube with a big old check, and I told my mom, "Hey, look, mom, look at this big old check. I kind of want one."
Mhm.
And yeah, I started doing research on wholesaling and whatnot, and ended up quitting my job before I even got my first deal, which was pretty stupid, but it was, man, it's hard. I don't suggest anybody do that.
There you go.
And yeah, I ended up getting my first deal after like 8 months of trying. Right after I graduated high school, like a week after, and it's been super inconsistent for like the next. It was very inconsistent from 2016
Till
all
now.
the way up to 2018.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah. It was 2 years of very inconsistency up to like 2019, honestly.
Yeah.
2019 is when things really started popping off, but it was 2 deals here, 1 deal over there.
Yeah.
In and out of jobs. Had to go get a job.
Right.
Because wholesaling wasn't really doing it.
Mhm.
So yeah, now we're very much more, as far as wholesaling, we're way more stable.
Mhm.
Wholesaling, we're buying properties now. Currently hold 19 units.
Good.
18 apartment units and Airbnb.
Nice.
And yeah, just focused on growing now,
Yeah.
So
what do you say that happened to you that stopped that inconsistency?
I think it was what stopped the inconsistency.
So you say it was like very inconsistent. So what do you feel like happened that kind of broke that inconsistency, and it was something like, okay, I'm building now?
Right. So that's a great question. So basically, it was actually investing in myself. That's
Nice.
where
There you
things changed, because I took myself a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
I spent $5,000 to go to an event in Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I literally learned the whole process, having a CRM, hiring
Mhm.
people, callers, acquisition managers, disposition managers, everything. So I think that's what really
Kind of, just
Yeah.
start investing.
as soon
in
as
it.
you start putting money behind you, that's when
There
you
you
get
go.
more serious. Because if you don't spend money on yourself, you don't feel like, how do I say it? You're not as serious about it,
Right.
Mhm.
basically, because you don't have no money behind it.
Right.
Now, if I say I'm gonna go put
Mhm.
$10,000, $20,000,
Mhm.
I gotta make something happen. I
Right.
gotta make some shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that creates a little more urgency.
100%. Yeah. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you do say that mentorship is needed.
yeah.
Yeah. It'll fasten the start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, for somebody who's just getting started and they're
Mhm.
like, hey, well, you know what? I don't have that money for mentorship. What are the tips that you can share with them that they could be like, hey, stack some money and then do mentorship? Or what do you suggest to them?
I
they
would
can do?
suggest getting hired by a real estate investment company.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Give them your time for like a year, 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
And then learn the game, learn the process. And if you want to do it by yourself, then cool.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
If not, not everybody's meant to be CEO.
Right.
That's
Right.
one thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes
Good question.
it's not. If you like if you like it there, then that position, well, cool, sit there. I got one guy with me. He's making crazy amount of money. This guy making 6 figures a year. He's chilling. He doesn't have the type of risk that I have. The guy is,
no, that is true. That is something that people they can start not realizing all the pressure that goes behind.
Yeah. So that's probably I think that's probably the best way to do it. It's probably go ahead and work under somebody that's actually doing it.
Right.
So
things are so different now because like when we were starting, I started with AC and I kind of started backwards because like I said, I had properties first and I was just in that landlord loophole, collecting rents. I was really management. I wasn't an owner,
right.
And that's where people have to see that difference. So I feel that a mentorship is needed. You can't just keep dabbling and dabbling and dabbling. It takes longer and longer and longer. And people don't understand you get what you pay for.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't go to somebody that's not doing it.
Right.
I know you have a book.
Yeah.
Wilmy has written a book just to kind of give some insights in and outs of it. Yeah, I tell you, I follow him.
I didn't even know he had a book.
Yeah, when I notice somebody that is really making moves, I notice and I like things and I see things and I really I'm inspired by the youth that is doing it different.
Yeah.
Okay, because like I said, I'm every bit of 50 and I'm seeing the big switch.
Yeah.
The youth that is changing. Hold on, she had a question. What's the question?
The question is Sydney Young. They said wholesaling has changed in Houston market. We have had to be creative to find deals out there. Please give us some advice on creative ideas to find deals.
We're just talking about that on the way up.
Yeah. What do you think, Mommy?
So creative ideas to find deals. I would say quit targeting just houses and buildings, multifamilies. Start looking at agricultural land, look at industrial land, look at all these other different types of properties, because that's the properties that a lot of people aren't really chasing after. Like, like a couple of days ago, we closed a $69,000 wholesale deal. What was it? It was from a farm. It was a 10-acre farm in Conroe. A lot of people are not chasing that type of stuff. So you gotta start looking at other piles of
that's
other,
a great
other
nugget,
lists.
by the way.
Yeah,
you gotta start looking at other different types of lists, because if you're constantly just looking for houses and your regular duplex, fourplex, you're gonna be competing next to guys from Cali, hedge funds and whatnot. These hedge funds and these guys from Cali, they don't know shit about, they're not going to be targeting farms. They're not going to be targeting land. So yeah, I wouldn't just focus on this specific niche. I'll start dabbling into these other ones and
start clicking everything in that what they offer.
I mean,
get creative.
Literally, that's the only way. And if you guys need help or anything, reach out to me. I'll help you with like if you guys have any questions about a lead that you may have, just reach out. So
yeah, things have changed a lot. You have to be a visionary at things. Look at things very differently. When I got the opportunity to buy a couple of the Martin Hardware locations, I didn't look at it like it was really, a building. I looked at it like this is a new store. And just kept going. Wilmy and I were just talking about some situations where in the city, everything is so built out. You got to become creative with that, like, why are you buying that? Well, because you got to get creative and 100%. You have to just go with the flow, and you can't overthink things in the way that it's going to stop you, because we are our own biggest critics. And if you're like, oh my God, I don't think I can do it, then you already just said you can't. You done said you can't. I didn't know years ago I'd be where I'm at ever. Had I not dabbled into, wholesaling, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I'd probably still be at 80 doors and that's it, being pretty much a manager. I didn't know, like this weekend going into, this past week, I went into my office with the girls and they were charging rents in brick houses that were like ridiculous. Didn't even cover my my cost of, what repairs would be, what whether them coming in or out in a year. They didn't cover
Usually.
that. And let's just say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath right there in the loop for $1,500. A brick house with a 2-car garage. You don't find that no more. No, not for 1,500. So I said,
I have my trailer for 1,500.
right. So then I looked at it, and
go high.
yeah, and you go through the motions like, okay, so I got to calm down because I go in throwing things.
Oh man, you guys
But the
seen her
thing
mad.
is, no. But the thing is that like I tell my husband, it's changing, and I don't want to work harder. I want to work smarter, and I don't want to work for the
Amen,
people that
sister.
work for me.
100%.
Yeah.
You're gonna do what I'm asking you to do, not what I'm telling. What I'm asking, because if you cannot do what I ask you to do, you just got to get out my damn way because you're in my way. That's what I feel.
100%.
So one thing when you're looking at rents, the one thing that I've learned is you have to see, you can easily go to HAR and see what the rental markets are going for. Then you're going to go to, water bills and you'll see a sewage fee. And then you go to your taxes and you divide your taxes into 12 and you add that to what it would be. And when I showed it to them, they're like, oh my God, the rent should be at least $1,900 to break freaking even.
I would like to start high.
Hell
yeah.
In case if you have
Yeah,
all of
just in
those little
case.
fees.
So they were real upset with me, and my husband was just livid because I was like, give that man his money back. How in the hell are you going to get $1,500 back? Because I've never danced on a thin pole. So no, and he gave the money back and he was like, damn, well, what are we going to do? I said, you're going to post it out there to people who belong in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, if they're not used to paying what is it supposed to be in the neighborhood, they don't belong there.
Right.
They
100%.
can't. They don't belong there. Because I have apartments in right here, which I think you're in 77026, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you already know the demographic there.
Yeah.
Oh my
If
God.
we don't put better people there, the demographic's just going to stay where it's at.
Exactly.
Because they don't see the value and they don't want to bring the value and they
Yeah.
don't want to change the value. Not that I want to get rid of everybody in the neighborhood, but I want to bring everybody, to what is there.
Exactly.
Leave the damn sofa
Quality,
on the
right?
porch. More quality.
Yeah.
Because we're still paying the same amount of taxes regardless.
Right.
That's not going to change. That's not going to change. But like I said, with wholesaling, it brought a lot of opportunity. It brought a lot of conversation. It brought a lot of open doors. How bad do you want it?
Exactly.
Pretty much. What do I say? What do I ask? How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Do you have a buyer like one of us at the end of the rope? You better tell that person how bad you want it to introduce it to us, and you got a deal.
Mhm.
50, 5,000, 60,000. You write your ticket, and if you don't try to write your ticket, you're not going to get nothing out of it.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't try. Anytime you drive away from a deal and you say, "Damn, it didn't go good," what can make it better?
Right.
Yeah, Andrea's like that. She's a pest.
I know. I always try to think like, how can I do this better? But it does. You have to, especially I think in any business, you gotta have that mindset. Like I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Kind of mindset.
You got to become a pest.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the things that you did post last time, you were saying that one time you had to pawn your mom's jewelry or something to drop earnest money. You tell us about that, because I feel like people don't know the things that they only see people successful, but they don't see what it actually took to get there. All the struggles, the late nights and breakdowns. And I mean, this guy had to leave for 10 days. But I know it takes a lot.
Yeah,
so.
man. So that's part of the, honestly, to really get you don't have to necessarily do some crazy shit like that, like fucking pulling your mother's gold and whatnot. That's pretty extreme. But yeah,
You made it work though.
but
I mean, but those are
The true
you
facts.
sacrifice
100%.
to do that. Now that's big.
100%.
Yeah.
So basically, when I was a kid, I was telling my mom about this dream. I was like, "Hey, look, mom, I got this. What's it called? I got this. I got this way of doing deals. Way of making money, and you can do it with your mind. You don't really have to work like that." And she was like, "All right, cool. That's fine, whatever." And then all of a sudden, I was asking her for her gold, and she was asking her realtor friends. Like, she had one friend that she worked for, I'm like, hey, is this real? He's
Yeah.
gonna take my gold, and he said he's gonna make some money off of it. And then she puts me on three-way, and like, hey, she said doesn't work. This wholesaling shit doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, she doesn't know what she's talking about, man. Who the hell is she? And me not having a deal under my belt. So I went ahead and pawned it, and I lost it. Yeah, I lost I lost a whole pot. It was like $4,000 worth of gold.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, it was a big amount, and I lost it, and you know, I actually got my first deal like maybe 5 months later. That's when I was able to go back to that jewelry store and buy it back. So
hey, but that's what it took. At least but see, like a lot of the people think that they get started, and things don't work their way. They're like, oh man, like this doesn't work, or things like that. Because even when I started real estate, I lost money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I feel like that's a way of welcome. Like, hey, do you really have what it takes to continue? Because it kind of stops you right here to actually like think, hey, do I want to keep going, or so
you gotta welcome adversity. Like that's one of the things. Like you have to welcome it, and you have to literally be grateful for it, because if you have some type of adversity, that means you're actually living. Like if you're not going through something, are you really living? Are you really actually?
Yeah, I'm living then.
Yeah,
I'm living my life.
Yeah, I mean, you have to love the adversity. I love it personally, and it doesnn't really bog me down either. I used to get super stressed out about all the bullshit, but honestly, you gotta learn that it's part of the journey, right? There's an up and there's a down, and there's an up and there's a down, and it's just you gotta.
And that's how it is. It's I feel like people feel like they're gonna get to a point where they're like, okay, no more problems. Like the higher you go, the more. It's different devils for different different levels for different devils.
There you go.
So it's like the higher you go, the more pressure, more this, more that. So the more you embrace it, it's like, okay, it's like they say, you don't get stronger, you just like learn how to deal with things. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
what works for me is I laugh at it. I just laugh at it. I laugh at shit. Like I got for real, dude. I got hit with a lawsuit like not too long ago. It was like, I don't know. It was like $10,000. I'm laughing at it. Whatever. This is nothing. This is like easy. You got to think everything is very light, very easy.
Light work.
Yeah, very light work. You get a $50,000 deal falls through. Whatever. It's light. I'll get another one. It's nothing. It's very light. So
that's Andrea, and I'm like,
no. Yeah, I know. We in this, when you get to a certain point, you've already taken I've taken so many loss, disappointments, and all of that when it comes now, it doesn't surprise me. I'm like, all right, we got to keep going, but I mean, we've had deals that are 80,000 assignment fees, and they fell through, and it's like I feel like it makes you numb, like you don't even feel anymore. You're just like, all right, what can you do, and if the next thing is but you start to develop that. And I feel like you don't, at the beginning, it does get the pressure, you get stressed. But once you learn, like, okay, I got over this and I was okay. Right. And here I am into this and I was okay. Like, you're going to be okay. You're not going to die from a little stress. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So once you start to realize that, it's like, it's all right. It's not as bad as as I thought it was or something, It's kind of like he said he got in this $10,000 lawsuit. Other people will be like, oh shit, now I have to come up with 10,000. You don't even know what's happening yet. Exactly. And you're already, playing your scenario in your head, like, oh, I'm gonna pay for it. It probably gets dismissed. Exactly. And here you got stressed out for nothing.
For nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's a mindset thing, honestly. You have to have and I think you have to go in with this type of mindset to not get fucking depressed, because you could get depressed like hell. Like me at the beginning, I locked up like 10 contracts. I backed out of every single one of them. And I got super depressed. I started crying in my freaking car. Like, what the fuck is going on? I just quit my job and I'm just over here running serious debt. I just fucking, my mom is like just pawned her jewelry and everything, and and so I mean, you got to go in with this type of mindset that
and you were able to get out of it fine.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, I mean, everything worked out. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did 10 contracts in one day.
I mean. It's one of those things. So that mentality right there is what's going to keep you sane, right? It's going to actually keep you be okay, honestly. And yeah,
so any tips that you do daily to kind of keep you sane and stuff like that that you can share with people? Like, hey, you know, I mean, I wake up, I do, you know, gratitude affirmations,
Right.
things like that. I mean, anything that you can like share with them that kind of help you to start your day.
So I have it's a 10x journal. It's from Grant Cardone. I've been using it since I was like,
I know, I see you with
18.
it everywhere.
Yeah, I've been using it since I was like 18. I have one for every single year, and basically, I got my whole team this journal. This journal is very powerful, very, very powerful. There's a reason why I've been using it for so long. You literally write down your yearly goals, beginning of the day, at the end of the day, and then you have your targets and your successes. So you write down your targets every day, and whether it be going to the gym, I'm gonna go eat a fucking salad. I'm gonna go do this and that, you know, whatever it is. And you write down your successes at the end of the day. And what that process does, it instills more confidence in you. Because if you go ahead and you go check that off, hey, look, is basically, how do I say it? You breed more confidence into yourself. Is more self-esteem. You feel like you actually, you know, have a sense of control in your life because you wrote it down.
Right.
You wrote it down that I'm gonna go read an hour of a book, and I did it.
Yeah.
That makes me more confident, right? So if you do that consistently and you do that, you know, throughout the whole day, I mean, you'll feel like an animal. You feel like a fucking boss, you know. And when you feel like it, you become it, and you get these crazy results. Like, you know, it's nuts. So
it's that be do have.
Yeah, be do have. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Can you decline that? Sorry.
So what do you think about, do you have like a business goal? Do you plan to invest like in a business, like for daily, you know, money generating on a daily basis?
Yeah, my Airbnb.
You want to do Airbnb?
Yeah, I got one Airbnb right now. I kind of want like a good 5.
Yeah.
That's
just
like
5.
I mean, for now, right? I mean, I only have one right now, so and it's going pretty well. But and that's like, you know, so that's like active, and the wholesaling, of course. Besides that, probably just the educational courses and whatnot. I'm big on education, so
yeah,
I have a big platform, internet platform where I sell my educational courses, and I've helped a lot of people, hundreds of people, maybe thousands at this point. So, but yeah, that's pretty much yeah. But business goal, I want 100 units by the end of the year.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I need 100. So next week I'm closing 4. Right now I got 19. So
you're working your way up there.
Yeah, I'll be at 23. I just gotta go. Just gotta keep going. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty.
So if people want to find your course, where can they go?
You can add me on Facebook, and it's the link in my bio. It's
okay.
We'll put the link in
here.
We'll
put the link on there, so if you guys want to.
Yes, sir.
Get his course. He's a fierce.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the Ultimate Wholesale course is for beginners. It's $150. You learn the whole wholesale process, and then if you want to start, $150. Learn the whole process. Learn how to how to analyze a deal, how to sell a deal, how to explain the contract to your seller, how to market to sellers. Now, if you already started, if you already done wholesaling, you want to move up to the next level. MultiFamily. There's a course for that too. MultiFamily course. We made our biggest one was over $300,000 assignment fee of one deal, and it was a multifamily deal. You know, made 6 figures, made crazy amounts of money on this, and it's literally just knowledge, right? Specialized knowledge. That's all you need.
Right.
So yeah, there's a course for that too. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
How is it going with the 75 hard, and can you explain what it has done for you? Because I know I've been following you on that, and I know me and you know what's his name, because I follow his podcast so much. Oh my god, no. I mean, there's the 75 hard.
Andy
Frisella. So how's that going? Because I know it's not only about exercise, but
it's a mental thing. Yeah, man. So I went up to day 46. I failed. I didn't fail. I just, you know.
It's all right.
That's
a long time.
Yeah.
46 days.
Yeah.
46 days straight. Honestly, I felt amazing. Felt pretty good, man. you get more confidence, more self-confidence. And honestly, I strive for that, because if I feel more self-confidence, I exert that into everybody that's around me, right? They're gonna feel more confident in themselves and my team. I mean, I gotta, I can't be a loser, right?
No,
You
no.
can't be a loser leading a team.
Yeah, I can't be a loser leading a team to win. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. So, but yeah, man, it breeds a lot of confidence in you. So, but I'm on day 2 now. So yesterday I
Start
started.
over.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I started
And
over.
it's okay to start over.
Yeah.
It's the best way
start over all
because
the
you're
time.
more prepared.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're more prepared.
100%.
Yeah, I feel like whenever like certain things that I say I'm gonna do that week, and if I don't do it, I'll start over again. Oh well, and so I'll actually did it that whole week.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people they fall off and they're like, oh crap, I already fell off. Like they leave it alone.
Exactly.
They feel like, oh, I gotta start over, or I'm lying to myself. Start over as many times as you need to start over until you get it.
As long as you do it, as long as you make it happen.
So let me tell you this: in financial pointers and growth pointers, who would you? Is there a book that you follow? And I mean that's in growth, because just because you make 100,000 doesn't mean you keep 100,000.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a book?
Mm-hmm. Or have you what have you done differently? Because that was my crash.
Yeah.
That was my crash. I didn't know how to file. One day I got a W-2, and then I'm like, oh shit, okay, and I ran with it. I just said, oh well, here you go. Oh well, here you go. And I didn't focus. What would be you as a young person coming in? What is your focus on financial literacy?
So my thing is, as far as like, financial literacy, I mean, I let my CPA handle everything. I know my role, right? I do what I'm good at. I like making money. I like making moves and helping people, train people to make money. So I focus on that. I let my CPA, I have my accountant, they go ahead, and my attorney, my tax attorney. So I just have them handle everything.
And I want a lot of you to hear that, because to me, that was my financial breakdown, was when it caught up to me. A lot of people are out there and they're not doing the financial thing. And I want you to hear it from somebody where it's coming out of his mouth. My time is my time. I can do it all. Yeah. And I had to learn not to be the do it all kind of person. Right. That really held me back. And you have to understand, if you're paying somebody $150 or $200 an hour, how much are you really worth? You can't devalue yourself trying to do somebody else's part. And it's not just, oh, that's your job. No, that's your part. So him saying it right then and there is very important for you guys to hear, that you have to have a CPA. You have to have an attorney. You have to have your LLC. If you don't have your shit straight, you don't belong in business. 100%. And I'm going to tell you, because it's going to catch up.
Yeah.
And when it hits you and these levies come and
I've had that happen.
Penalties.
Yes, and these penalties that don't go away. Yeah.
Crazy.
No, that happened to me where they took money from my bank account. I was like, oh shit. And it was right before my daughter's 15, so I had already just spent all that money on her quinceañera. And it's like, bam, I looked at my account. I'm like, wait a minute, this don't look good. What happened to my money? George. Yeah. No, and it tells you there, IRS, like that they went in there. I was very lucky. So I called them, and I don't know how I managed to have them give me half of it back, because and everybody's like, they never do that. They never, if they are able to get the money, they're going to take it. And they were able to give me half of it, but it's like, you don't want to play with that.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, no, this is serious. I like to test my water sometimes.
Yeah.
But there I was like, okay, no, they are serious. So.
One thing you can do if you're just starting off, and especially if you're, wholesaling and whatnot, is as soon as you get your wholesale money in, create 2 separate other bank accounts. Right. One of them is going to be for taxes. Another one is going to be for marketing. So put away 30% for taxes automatically. So if you make 10,000, just look at it as you made, 4,000, because you got 30% and 30% for the taxes, another 30% for marketing. And yeah, That's
Well,
all
yeah,
you
they
need.
have that profit first
Yeah.
too, where they tell you
Profit
to put.
first. Yeah.
I really love that book. That book's
Mhm.
actually helped me a lot because
We're gonna have to put that in the link.
yeah, the profit first, because it kind of shows you how
How to move
to
your money.
put your accounts and
Yeah.
stuff. Because I feel like, and this happened to me, I had everything in one account, right? And then you got
Mhm.
marketing, you got payroll, you got everything coming, and you're like, shit, like
Yeah.
you don't feel like you're making any money because you're like,
Yeah, 'cause
so
you're constantly.
you know,
Mhm.
so by having everything where it needs to go, then you know, like, hey, that's being taken care of. Because your mind, it kind of messes with you because you're thinking, I have everything in account. I just see like money coming out, but that's normal. But if you put it in different accounts, then you're like, you see what your money's actually doing, you know, and how it's returning back. So be like, hey, I'm putting this into marketing, and then it's like, hey, you put another 10% into marketing. So and then it's the profit, obviously, but it's a good way because you can see what's going in and what's going out.
Yeah, because once you start doing it, wholesaling is like a tumbleweed. You just keep going, and then you just keep liking to make the money with no responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's just consistently. You break down numbers, and it's just real easy. A lot of people, I don't knock the brick and mortar. I'm a brick and mortar girl, and I have other businesses, but when you look at $1 million at a 10 cap of what you're really keeping, or 10% of what you're keeping, it's 100,000, and if you are at like an $80,000 cost just for running your business, then you only really made 20,000. So you really need to look at that.
Yeah.
Because people get washed in the money. The money is not yours.
Yeah.
It's our silent business partner.
Yeah, and
Fed government, FED.
Yeah.
And a lot of the
Uncle Sam.
mistakes I see is people make money and they're like, oh, I'm gonna go buy me a car, I'm gonna go buy me this, not knowing that you don't even know if you're gonna make that same amount next month, you know.
Mm-mm.
So that's how they're like, oh shit, like I don't have any money to pay my overhead.
Mhm.
You know, I don't touch what comes in. I don't even act like it came in. It doesn't even feel, because I know I gotta get marketing into this. So I try to live off just 30% of what I'm making, you know, and that's it. Everything is just invested or taxes or whatever it is.
Hell yeah.
So learning how to like live off a certain amount of your money will actually help create wealth, because it's like people like money comes in, money comes right back out. They want to spend it. You know, they want to like let people know, hey, I'm making money now, you know, and that's one of, especially guys, because they want to have that ego.
Yeah,
you know, they're like, oh, I just cashed in that $10,000 check. Let me go ahead and buy me a necklace, a $10,000 necklace. Now I'm wearing it here. You know, didn't put any money on marketing. Put it on social media, hey, and you know this. But next month is like, hey, the bills are here.
Exactly. Yeah. I would say to those,
that necklace ain't gonna look that good no more.
I would say to those, do not ball out on fancy shit with wholesale income. Do it off passive income.
Amen to that.
If you have passive income, okay, cool. You could go maybe buy your little nice necklace and shit. That's passively. You're getting it every month, you know. But with active income, you should be dumping that all into something passive, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I've done, and I finally did it. Like, you know, at the beginning it wasn't like that. I used to blow my money, dude. Because I'm 18 years old. I'm making $100,000 a year. I'm blowing it.
Yeah.
I'm hitting strip clubs. I'm hitting fucking. I'm getting.
He's getting pink eyes.
Yeah, like I'm getting crazy. You know, I was retarded. But so yeah, you're right when you said it's mainly men.
Yeah, it is.
It happened to me, dude.
And I know the reason I say that, because I was raised with like guys. So with my brothers, I have nothing but brothers, and like they were so smart in other aspects of business, but when it came to money and women, it was like, oh, here, take my money. You know, and I'm like they're. So I know that guys, they get money and they want to feel that ego. Like, I got money ego, you know, and they want people to kind of validate, oh, he got money. So they kind of do things to do that. But it's like, dude, you're missing the point here. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So, you know, that's how I feel like a lot of people make that mistakes coming in. Like I'm very frugal with my money, because I'm like, I work really hard for it. So for me to just give it to a stripper or somebody is like, hell no, you know. So But yeah, that's one of the things that I see that people, when they come in, they spend more than what they can actually spend.
Yeah.
And then they wonder like, oh, this doesn't work well.
You spent it all.
You spend it all, right?
Yeah. You
Go,
have a
hey,
question?
go tell Diamond, see if she wants to give you the money back.
What's that? What is it?
Jose Lozano, they said, is that real gold on Wilney's wrist?
Oh, okay.
No, it's
Nah, bro, it's
you
fake.
just stopped at the dollar
I just
store.
stopped at the dollar store. I
You
just
got it
it,
at
man.
25 cents.
Yeah, man. They just painted it yellow, bro.
Yeah. One of the things is when my son was young, I made sure, and I would tell him, son, I'm gonna buy you a gold chain or a gold thing, because he used to always buy the Nikes and all that other shit, right? Well, just this year, he wanted to buy his little dream home, and he needed like $400 and something thousand. And I looked at that thing on his neck and his bracelet and his ring, and he saved them. And believe me, he would always pawn them, get them out, pawn them, get them out. And he's like, Mom, I said, what? He goes, I'm gonna sell it. It's too much for me now. And he looked, girl.
That's when you realize you grow up.
Yeah, from 18, the neck was like this, and now it's like the chains right here. You know, it looked like a choker. My boys are big. Yeah, so he had this big old chain, and he sold it, and he was able to get, you know, the down payment for it. So it was the weight. And right now, the way gold is going, you know, it was pretty good. So a lot of my jewelry, because I used to walk around like Mrs. T.
That's my
promise you, and like chunks of diamonds. My house wasn't even worth half the shit I wore. And majority of the jewelry, I melted it down into a bar of gold, and had to separate you actually have to separate the jewelry before they melt it, and because they have certain grades.
Yeah.
And you know, so they melted it down, and I just keep my little chunks of gold, and that's it. I'm like that old miser, you know. But I don't wear things like I used to. I think that's attractive on a man because it's clean. It's not like a whole bunch of rings and shit, you know. Mr. T over gold. Yeah, I don't wear anything anymore. But you know, I think it's, you know, it's a clean cut. It, you know, you can show expensive without looking thirsty. In other words, yeah. But I think it's clean. I like it.
A lot of people do not buy this type of shit.
Not now. Like, you can do it later.
I'm like 6 years. I'm like 5-6 years into this thing, so you gotta remember that. You know, I'm not able to. I wasn't just able to do this. You know, this is too long time. So, yeah.
Yeah, but the money comes in, and it does roll in if you are focused and you are with people that are actually doing it, and you're in the conversations and you hear people talking. Pick up on those lingos. I don't listen to the radio. Stephanie goes crazy with me in the car. She starts singing because I do, right? I don't listen to the radio. Because I think that just mentally draws out my focus, and I get calls throughout the day like you, and if I'm worried about, you know, 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Well, you know, it doesn't fit my mental focus. Yeah. So I really try to focus on the things that are important to me, hang out with people that aren't just gathering just to drink and do whatever, but are really, really focused. You know, what is that mastermind? What is that, you know, that group where everybody joins in together and talks about necessary things, not necessary things. Yeah. You know, I'm sure at his age, he gets a lot of guys that probably get together and talk about chicks and this and that. You got your chick at home. There's nothing different. You know, every woman has 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 tits, and an ass. That's it. You know, it's the truth. And so there's nothing different to every woman besides how far she's going to get you, because behind every man is a hell of a damn good woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
a successful man.
One thing that I saw and I really loved is like, don't look at, you know, at the woman's body, because that's not who's going to raise your kid. It's going to be the mindset, the way they are. So, and I really love that, because I feel like, you know, guys would like, oh, but she has a nice body and all that, but they don't really like know who they truly are as a person. Yeah. And that's one of the things where they kind of go off of.
Right. With Andrea, they got a package.
Me that look like shit.
Yeah. What did you do?
Oh man.
Well, me.
Yeah, you're in a room full of women here.
Like, damn, hey, I'm like,
Oh, we got a question.
I thought I looked. I was like,
Lucy says, "Can you share some ideas on Houston to remodel make spaces more useful and nicer?"
Lucy, what?
Bekick? I don't know how to pronounce that.
I'll get it in a minute.
That's actually a great question for
Yeah.
you because that's
Yeah.
what you do.
Mhm. Well, I look at magazines and I watch HGTV a lot. I look at my fellow investors, what they're flipping colors. When blue and gold came back in, I looked at Kimberly Lee's project and I was like, blue and gold, like that's like so 70, and it's so right now. It's in my house, you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
so
nice.
That's
Blue and
hard.
gold.
yeah, blue
I
and
like
gold
that.
is nice. It really brought it back. It's a comforting feel. Stay looking at a lot of HDTV. You get a lot of ideas, especially like on storage. Pinterest.
Pinterest is good. I love Pinterest. That's why I
Yeah.
get my husband to do the things.
Yeah, but when it comes into construction, before you even start the game, you need to make sure that you're in with good companies with pricing. You have your credit lines ready. You've done your due diligence, because basically, with the way lumber and commodities is right now, I could give you a quote on lumber today, and tomorrow it changed by 20%.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
Right now, we were
crazy.
talking about that. Right now, importing right now, because of the diesel and the gas and the oils and all this other stuff, everything is so expensive just for the logistic part. Everything's going to go up, and every day it's going up. And then drivers are asking for more now. There's been a lot of rallies out there, so drivers are asking more, gas is more, so logistic companies are like, we got to hit them in the pocket.
Wow.
So that's where it's at. And right now, even like in the furniture business, they're making a lot of composite woods, because wood is so expensive.
Hey, now
Mhm.
and when you sit down, I just gonna break.
This is crazy. So
Yeah.
they're using composite wood now.
They're using composite.
Is it the type of wood that like
It's all compressed.
Yeah, compressed and chopped up and
Yeah, some of it
put
is more
together?
like a plastic now too.
Oh
It's
my
different.
God.
Hmm.
That's
To
crazy.
say goodbye to real wood.
Yeah, especially when my
And
ass
the
sits
house
on
is gonna
it.
be done by composite wood.
I know.
Well, actually,
First hurricane that comes.
For real?
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
actually, right now in Louisiana, because I have the steel manufacturing, I've noticed a lot of people in Louisiana ordering steel. So they are doing steel frame because
Steel frame houses.
because it's not falling.
That's what we did our backyard.
And steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice. It
Mhm.
is cheaper.
Yeah,
because
it is.
We expanded our backyard and we did it off of that, and it was so much cheaper than doing
Yeah.
it wood.
The
And it
thing,
looks nice. It looks very contemporary.
yeah, a lot of people think that sheet metal or metals are more expensive. It's really not, because metal does not ruin. It has
Yeah.
a longer lifetime. Our house in Kima has metal,
I'm
steel
surprised you start
frame.
Seeing people doing houses like that now.
Yeah, because I mean,
What
honestly,
about the rust and whatnot? Like how does
well,
it
I
doesn't
mean,
really-
it really doesn't rust. You
Stain
have
it
to,
over.
you have to coat it right.
Something.
Yeah, you have to, because
some
when,
type of coat.
you have, there's a certain coating and
Should there
stuff,
be
and
some
that's what
solution
Chris
to
does.
that?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like just like with the there's a lot of people that have been doing these houses, and they've been going with just treated picket versus cedar, because you save 20-30 cents. 20-30 cents times 400-500 pickets, it adds up.
It adds up.
Some people are like, oh, $150 ain't that much, but it's not the $150. It's also the cost, because you go spend $2,800 back then. Now it's probably $3,400 on a fence,
Hell yeah.
and a lot of flips. We used to put brand new fences, and now it's like, shoot,
Now you ain't
repaint
getting
it.
no
Yeah,
fence.
You ain't gonna get no
Enjoy your
fence.
neighbors.
Yeah, you ain't getting that fancy fence. Yeah, I used to add a lot of things, because a lot of people knew us for always breaking comps. Like that was
Yeah.
my focus. Break that comp, make that thing go up. And then now it's like, no, because it's almost like you were stupid. Not stupid, but you're crazy. Your
Yeah.
ego.
There you go.
Your ego. I like, fuck, I'm gonna break that comp. And that's me. I'm sorry. I did a bleep. But the thing is that
Like now the comp is breaking us.
yeah, now the comps are breaking us, because when we were breaking comps, Will could have went right behind me and put everything real basic. Well, that's
That's
my
what
comp.
I do, guys.
They follow me.
Well,
No, I'm
and
joking.
you know,
Oh my god.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's why I like wholesaling
Mhm.
because I do. It's kind of sad, right? Because I know you got these flippers that are really, really proud of what they did to their home and all of that, but they overdo it,
Mhm.
And I literally come in and do the most basic. That's why I never be like posting too much because I'm like, they're gonna be like, this is nothing, but that's okay because I profited so much more. Same. And I just do basic, like even like certain countertops, I'll leave them like because what I look at is what's selling in the area and how it's selling.
Yeah.
If there's like these houses in these neighborhoods, they don't have like granite, they just have the regular, everything is just as is. So you leave it as is, and it still sells the same. So that's like kind of how my motto is. Like I always try to go in there and do the minimum. Just clean. People want to see a nice clean home, like clean paint the trim, and it's like carpet, just everything's basic. And they like it.
So what about turnover? Like how fast are you turning these over? Like a
quick.
Quick.
So like at first my husband was like, oh, you need to do this. Oh, I'm like, no, you don't. Like, and he saw how that they would just sell, and he's like, "Oh shit!" But a lot of people think that you got to put in the granite tips. You got to. I mean, on certain areas, depending on the price point, you do. But I don't over rehab. I actually under rehab, and I get just as good as the result if I would have probably over rehab.
Yeah.
So that's been working for me, and I love it because people over rehab a lot. Like a lot. Like I'm like, but it looks, I mean, your work is just amazing. I can't be like, oh well, look, because too, that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
But not realizing that you're cutting so much in your profit.
Time. Time.
So profit and time. And me, I kind of go in there and all I do. It's funny because I have there's these bowls that I buy from Home Depot that my husband's like, that's your signature. Because I just change every light and put these bowls. It makes it stand out. Yeah. Paint the house, make sure everything's clean and clean it really good and put it back on the market. Right. And it sells. And you got other people like taking carpet out. I literally, if the carpet's not bad, just leave it the same. I would just do a power wash and stuff. I know they're gonna report me. Like, no, but listen, guys.
Cut the show.
The whole motto, right? I didn't say that. No, I'm just kidding. The motto is, people think by over rehabbing, I'm gonna get more. You're gonna get at what it is. And that's it. So I just keep it basic, and then I end up profiting a lot more. And I'm in and out of these houses. Like we closed on a hotel. We're about to be done. We're like in the second week of it. In their power wash. Like I always like to trick the eye. It's like I'll put a new. When they walk in, I try to make sure everything looks good. That's the first thing they're gonna look at. Same thing when they're kind of walking into the house. Make sure I do little landscaping, little things that are like, oh, okay, that's appealing. But I'm not over there buying these expensive floors or nothing. It's just the things that when I walk, I look and I'm like, okay, what would I look the first? The handle of the door, things like that. That's where I kind of focus my like rehabbing, and the rest is just like all basic stuff. Yeah. And people love it.
Yeah,
they love it.
And that's what she calls her hotel.
Yeah, I love hoteling. I really like it's
easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
But it's not a flip because a flip you're flipping everything. It's just put lipstick on the pig and put it back on the market.
And you're putting it on the market for
ARV. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you let her know the number is spam? Just
say it.
Just tell her.
Oh, yeah, Haida. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Full price ARV.
Yes, full price ARV, guys. Yeah. And it's funny because I have my realtor, like Billy, sometimes is like, damn, Andre, you're asking too much for this property. I'm like, dude, put it for that price. Who cares?
It's 2022.
They sell. Yeah. And he's like, he goes, dude, I'm putting mine for too low. I'm like, I'm a very aggressive person. Like, I'd rather like just go high. And,
they can always come down, but you can't go back up.
Same thing with the for that little mobile home. Like all rents were like $1,200, $1,300. I'm like $1,500. Yeah, it rented for $1,500. Yeah. So it's like a lot of people kind of like limit their own selves, on things like just do it and see what happens. If it doesn't happen, well, it didn't happen, but I want to at least try.
Right.
So
that's fire.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, because you have to. You have to go with the changes. You just
Right.
have
Yeah.
to.
That's a lot of.
The world is changing right now, man. You gotta
It
roll
is.
with
It is.
You know,
And
everything is much more
especially the
expensive.
market is changing.
Yeah.
I'm like going with what it's doing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Yeah, like,
don't
Yeah.
got try to go against it. You know,
Mhm.
I feel like if people are wholesaling a lot right now, like
Yeah.
it's especially with
Yeah.
like houses. You know, like you're
Yeah.
saying land, like they need to start changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why a lot of people should really take a look into that, man. These land deals, I preach it. That and multifamily, you gotta really look into it, man, because these houses are getting a little bit more competition. You got more
Yeah,
people
it is
Yeah.
more competition.
Yeah, it's
so,
saturated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
look
To me,
into
it's
it.
saturated.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's saturated. Yeah, I make more with equity out of commercial
Right.
properties than a house.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to, because people are selling them because they don't have the vision. What am I going to do with it? And then here you come and you do all this, and they're freaking out like, damn, I never thought you could.
Yeah.
One thing I've learned from her is getting very creative. And I have on
Yeah.
some of my deals, and I'm like, man,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
That's why it's really good to kind of talk to people and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
be
Just
like,
see how
hey,
they're doing stuff.
Right.
yeah, and it's like you don't have to do it exactly like them, but you
Yeah.
getting like little tips from you or her
Mhm.
and different things. You do your own way of doing
Exactly.
things,
Right.
You have a little bit from everybody.
Yeah.
Just apply it and make it your own. That's
Yeah.
how I like to do it. Too.
Yeah.
In most of the properties that I have, I leave one staple that belonged to the original owner. Like all my stores, I leave the owners of those properties above their pictures above my cashier.
Yeah.
And then especially Jensen. And
Really?
yeah. And then the one right there on Vasquez, because that is like a place everybody went to, that circus right
Right.
there behind Fiesta on Airline. Everybody's like, why don't you move that big old elephant? No, because that lady gave me that elephant, and
Well,
it
elephants-
has nothing to do with the hardware other than elephants in the room. I don't know, but
Elephants are good luck.
yeah, and
My
she
mom
gave
loves
me
elephants.
and she
has them
gave
all
it
over
to
her
me.
house.
Same,
Yeah.
dude.
That lady took pieces of broken mirror, because every time they leave, they have to break the mirrors
Why?
because they don't carry that stuff with them. So they would break it.
Just tell her
And
it's
so
good.
she would put it
It's
on
good,
top
numbers
of
good.
those figures. She had the elephant, a dinosaur, no, a dinosaur, an elephant, a cheetah or a lion, whatever that was, whatever was in the circus. She has those big animal figures, and she would put mirrors on them. So that's why every time people go down 45 and they see that thing shining, it was her putting those pieces of broken glass on there by hand.
Mhm.
So I won't move it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of history, because those people were there for years. So many people tried to buy that land, and they gave me the opportunity. Hmm.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah. And so right now, I'm working with Willie. Hopefully, if I can get it, containers, going into containers, knowing why to go into containers, all that other stuff. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and your creativity. I mean, look, you got also a mobile card to do. Hair and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she comes up with
Yeah.
some good ideas.
Yeah.
I have a lot of different avenues of money entering a day. I feel like
Oh man, you would
yeah.
laugh if you hear the things she tells you. Like, I'm like, golly,
Yeah,
like
like
this girl has her hands in everything.
everything.
But I like that. It's
Yeah.
nice.
You gotta do your source.
Yeah, because especially when I learned when COVID was not bringing money, everybody wanted a tummy tuck. Everyone wanted body sculpting. Yeah, during COVID, that was like the peak point for most
I was
of the
trying to get out of my
doctors.
house during COVID. I was laughing why don't get tummy
No,
tuck.
some ladies were trying to just stay there and recuperate to come out with their sass bodies. But it's true. A lot of people took time to focus on themselves, their bodies, or whatever. And the body sculpting world, and lasers, all that, it just hit the roof. Just one day in the body realm, I'll probably make $1,000 to $2,000 a day.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially like people
Wow.
that do like injections and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Man, I was
You
like,
make crazy money, huh?
heck
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and people spend it. And the funny thing is, they don't like to say they do it, and who does it.
Right.
You can
Obvious.
look like, okay, yeah, and yeah, but there's that, the hair salons. There's a lot of stuff. I've dabbled in so many different things, but now I'm kind of, winding it down, to just where I've lived a long time. I've lived a long time.
What is your main thing?
My main thing is just to make sure my kids are good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her main thing is everything.
Yeah. And it's funny because my kids are very self-sufficient. Like they have their own businesses. One has the electrical and AC company, and they don't rely on their parents. They don't.
Nice.
They don't. They
That's
really
awesome.
don't. My younger son and his wife, properties. My other son has the engineering. Well, he builds buildings.
Nice.
All that stuff. Like, but well, when they were being raised, I didn't have money. I didn't. I was just managing. I was living day to day to day.
Right.
And if somebody didn't pay rent, I had to make up for that. So I had a regular job just to
Right.
make up for people not paying that thought I was rich because I was working at something. People will always hate your hustle because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
But one of the things was bringing them up the way they were. Everything they had, they felt they had a lot of, and they didn't have that much, but they just did. I always made sure they were not in a public school. They were in private schools because I wanted to make sure that they were instilled with the Christian and all that, the things I couldn't do. So they were always in Christian schools. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. That fell off after 18. That fell off after 18.
All that money,
dang. No, but they're very self-sufficient. I give them that. They like I said one time, my son wanted to be a dentist, and he ended up having his own electrical and AC company. So it's very different. What you plan for your kids isn't always what they're going to become.
Right.
You just have to let them become their best self. I have one son. He would bring us home F&Ds. But if he got a D, I was like, damn, yes, son, you did the best you could. I don't give a shit. He passed.
Yeah.
I don't like that with my kids too.
Yeah, because you
I'm
can't.
like, they just pass.
Yeah, you can't down them. You can't down. You wish the best, but I don't want to stress them like that.
Yeah. I mean, in the Hispanic culture, like, man, as long as you pass it, we're doing
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to do nothing extra.
Exactly.
Like, oh, it has to be an A.
None of that, man.
Just pass. That's it.
Yeah. But that's my thing. I think I've superseded so many things I ever wanted. And sometimes I sit back and I'm like, and I think just like you had to have your revelation, and sit back and be away from phones and people and everything, we all need it. I sat back and I realized we built so many damn empires without even knowing. And, when you look back and you look at everything and the movement, my goal in life was to have a high rise by downtown, sit there on the balcony and watch the world move. That is my ultimate goal. And then my husband's like, you don't realize you've been there so many times, but you get off your fucking balcony and you go right back to it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I have a choice.
Yeah.
And when you when you live by choice, that's when it makes sense. That's when you've made it. But if you have to get up and hustle and shit, I got this to do and shit, I got that to do, you already know you're still just working.
Right.
But once you can do things by choice, then you've made it.
Well, and that's one of the things that I struggle with is like you have a choice too, right? But sometimes we put those choices because we say, oh, but I have to keep on working. I have to do this. Like one of my things is like that keep going. Like, no, you don't. You don't have like you could go on vacation if you want, but because you feel like I gotta keep going, I gotta keep this. And it's good to kind of like work. But take some time off for yourself too, because you got to know how to balance it.
Yeah,
and a lot of people go ham on working and they burn themselves out. I'm very
100%.
bad about that, so I gotta like cut myself out and like go take some time off because you just get burnt out. Like it sucks you in, and then you're like, damn, I'm like in here and like looking at everything that goes. Like I've been away from all of this because I'm just sucked in here. Yeah. So it's good to kind of sit back and do like. And analyze like
decision making abilities is really gets depleted once your mind is like constantly strained, right?
Right.
Your brain is like a Ferrari, so your brain is a Ferrari, and you just that Ferrari just keeps going and going and going, and it's gonna run out of gas. And it's gonna fucking implode. So another thing that I read this. Let me just bring it up. I read this book. It's called God is My CEO. That's a great book.
I'm gonna write
It
that one
Write that
involves,
down.
wow, that's a great book. So he said, a life whose work and faith hasn't been joined together becomes one of toil and drudgery. Days become filled with worry, frustration, and exhaustion. And here's another one that I want to make it. There are times when critical business decisions have no correct answer and can only be made with a leap of faith by the leader alone. The solution is to trust God's principle, which will help us be effective and significant leaders in the midst of a pressured and demanding world.
Amen on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, dude.
Mhm.
So
I need to
it's,
get that.
God is
Write
my
it in the
Good
link.
one.
Write it in the
that
comments.
is a great book. Amazing book. I really highly
I'm gonna
suggest
start
that.
reading it.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
and that does make sense. And that's one of the things that I learned to do is like certain things you don't have control over, just let it go. Because
Yeah.
if it's too many, like I feel like I got a lot of departments here and there. So
Yeah.
it's like just
Yeah. And you know what's funny is right now, we have people just throwing properties at us, and I'm like, my husband's like, we can have
That's
another
a good
store,
problem
and
to
I'm
have.
like,
Yeah.
no, and I'm like, I don't want it. And he's like, you just want to be limiting. No, I don't. I see you physically,
Yeah.
and I see that I'm not a woman that wants more than what I can handle. You're killing yourself,
Yeah.
because I'm not that woman that wants a whole lot of things. I could be happy at my old house. I don't care.
Right.
Once you learn the house is too big and it becomes more empty.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes the smaller houses are the most full houses in the holidays than the big ones.
Right.
So sometimes bigger space causes more emptiness,
Right,
so it's
that's
better
true.
to condense. And so, like I tell him, I don't want it.
Yeah,
And he
kids
doesn't
are
get
like
it.
all over. Like I have all my kids sleep upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, man, I don't even see them. You
Yeah.
know?
Girl.
At first I was like, hell yeah, and now it's like
Yeah.
we keep the little ones, but
Mhm.
I see that because it
Mhm.
kind of like the bigger the places, the less you see them. Like, cause
Yeah.
I kind of wanted that because I was like, I can be over here in the corner, like
Right.
no.
Yeah.
But then it's
Mhm.
like, damn, what? But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, it becomes like that. And so as I start to look at things, you want less responsibility. And imagine being responsible for over 50 employees or more. You have to think about it. And one thing that I always go at my husband, there are not bad employees, there are bad leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Because if you go to Chick-fil-A, these people do their jobs
Damn.
They do.
consecutively
We
every
need
single day.
their systems.
Their
Oh, yeah.
system is on a Christian rule. They don't work on the Sabbath day. They
No,
will
they do.
not work on the Sabbath day. And another thing is that, they have respectful hours for people. People were saying, well, they can't be in the airport because they don't, have these certain specifications. Oh, well, or at the rodeo. Oh, well. But if you stick to your goals and your godly goals and your true reason, you're gonna manifest what your rules are, what your goals
Right.
are. Because when you start to bend your rules, your personal rules, it's you're living by somebody else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it doesn't
I
fit
do
you.
that. I do that a lot.
Yeah, and it
I-
don't fit you.
You could feel it, the pressure, because I'm like, it doesn't feel right me doing this
Mhm.
because I'm going because I do hair too sometimes,
Mhm.
and when I do that, I'm like, I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, you do.
But
when
here-
it cuts my
I
hair.
know, right?
Yes,
That's what everyone's
you
saying.
do.
Like, that I do their hair, like, yes, but you do.
But you do.
But I feel like it's taking me away from the time that I could be at home or things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't even need to do it anymore. But because, I'm a people pleaser, I'm like, okay, I'll go do it and stuff like that. But it doesn't feel right because it's like God telling me, hey,
Yeah.
you need to cut this already.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so
So giving
that's
you
a
more.
choice.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing to go knowing I don't have to. So if I was to say, hey, you know what, I can't do this, then now I feel like, okay, I made that choice and I feel better because
Right.
Yeah.
every time I go, I'm like, why am I doing this again? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And that comes from the respect, like Will being at his age. I know, like Will coming up, or even Andrea or anybody that we can relate, that we have older knucklehead friends that do certain things. You can keep them as your friends, but you keep them in a certain way that it doesn't interact with what your true meaning is at life, because sometimes they don't get it.
yeah.
They don't get it. And you don't have to feel bad to leave those people behind in your life, because you're not going to go forward and meet not better people, but like-minded people. That's what you
Yeah.
have to do. So I
100%.
know. So I know it's a lot of peer pressure on people today, especially because if you went to church on Sunday, damn, bro, like, damn, we're over here barbecuing and you're over there, at church. It's that girl.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I know what it is. And so I hear it and I'm like, damn, but the thing is that right now, social
Maybe
media.
look at your gay ass at church.
Yeah, you're putting gas at the gas station and everybody knew and you didn't know, no one knew, but it was posted. It happened to me. You were supposed to be over here, girl, and you're putting gas over here at this time. Yeah, I was running out of gas, bitch. Couldn't get to you. And now I don't need to get to you if you're watching me that much. But the thing is that those are people that look for your imperfections and they want to keep you imperfect. So in order to become the perfect you have to create that whole atmosphere, and it's going to have to change.
Yeah. I mean, if your friends aren't changing, man, life is not really going to change. The more you entertain people that are not for you, the longer you withhold, from meeting people that are for you, right? Like you can't. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that quote with Jim Rohn. He's like, if you don't change, nothing's gonna
change.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna change.
So,
well, guys, that was us today.
Thank you so much. I know we kind of probably went over time.
Yeah, we brought you some baby meat.
I know. I'm like, hey, it's 45 minutes. Hey,
yeah,
I'll get him in there. Okay. And then like,
no, but I really appreciate his answers because his answers were so mature. Coming from somebody in his age, and his answers were so mature. And I'm over here all toothless, going through dental pain and shit. I'm like, no, I gotta be there. Like I'm coming. And the thing is that I really appreciate your answers and all the information you're sharing, the knowledge that you're putting out there affordably. That is so important because you do have to respect that people are like, damn, yeah, but he's charging. If you don't want to invest in yourself, then that's just your thing.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to have to, because you can hear it 100 times on YouTube and you're not going to do shit.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah, because you need to really circle yourself with people that are doing it in your niche, in your area, close by, that knows the mistakes that you could make before you even hit them. So there we go, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.